Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Marriage is Tougher Than Woodpecker Lips podcast. This is Bryan, joined by my co-host, Paul. We'd like to welcome you to a community meant for the men of the world to share their thoughts, perspectives on marriage. We can learn from each other's experiences and help each other be better husbands. This week on the pod, we want to talk to you about planning a surprise gift and what may need to happen after that gift is given.
All right, and before we hop all the way into the episode, we just would like to welcome you. If this is your first time, welcome. If you've been rocking with us for a while, welcome back. If you'd like to go deeper as you hear this conversation, please reach out searching Marriage is Tougher on any social media platform. You can DM us and we'll get right back to you. If you have any feedback or like to be a guest, you can do the same thing. Also, you can go to marriageisttougher.com, hit the contact form, leave your feedback there, and let us know if you'd like to be a guest. Leave your information there. We'll reach back out to you and get in contact with you and get to know how we can get you on the show. We appreciate you all. Now let's hop into this conversation.
Right. So, last weekend, the family went on a little Christmas style trip to New York. And this is something that my wife has been begging me to do, likely for as long as we've been together. So, 14 years in now, finally got it done. And there's probably a whole episode behind why that is. But we finally got it in. And I am mindful now of how excited I get to surprise my wife with something of that magnitude. But also the need to allow her to be part of the decision making, right? I was able to, I would say, more or less plan a hotel. I knew there was one very big specific thing that she wanted to do, which was go see the tree at Rockefeller.
Mm-hmm.
But New York is a big city, and I planned a weekend trip. Going to see the tree at Rockefeller does not make a weekend trip. So when she learned on her birthday of the trip, I'm sure her mind started flying like, oh, we'll be able to do this and this and this. Or maybe we'll just create a list and see how much we can get in.
Mm-hmm.
Which, number one, for someone like me, feels daunting.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate trying to squeeze everything we possibly can into a little bit of time. However, this was a gift for her.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, I'm here for it. That was my mindset. She definitely put a list together.
Yep.
And I tried to accommodate all that I could. I think we did a really good job within the time that we had. But yeah, I'm curious on your thoughts on a couple things. One, is this something you've tried to do within the time you've been with Crystal, like surprise her with a trip, right? A weekend getaway. And then once the reveal happens, how do you feel about kind of just letting her take over?
Yes, I did it in a interesting way. So for her 35th birthday, I reached out to people that were influential in her life and set up little like dinners with them. And it could be whatever they liked. Like it could be like just going to their house because, it would be more intimate. You don't have a time frame, or they like to cook. So they wanted to cook for her, rehash memories, all that stuff. So you're never like, oh, we're still the last ones at this restaurant. Right.
Right.
So she didn't know, and it was kind of like a little tour because some were local, but then we went to DC um, to see one of her friends or a couple of her friends there. Um, so that was a surprise ish, right? Once, because we did it throughout it was like maybe 8 weeks or so, right around her birthday, like a couple weeks before her birthday and a couple weeks after. So her birthday's in July. Um, so the DC trip was, I think, the third week in July. So once we did that, right, and that's a little ways away from us, and it was a drive and all that, so we had to drive there, blah blah blah. Um, so it was a, hey, we're going to do this. This is the thing. But now it's like, okay, what do you want to do while we're there outside of this? And it was a pretty good time. It definitely doesn't take away from the surprise, I think, because for her, the gift is the thought and the knowing of her, not the actual gift, right?
Gotcha.
So once I showed that, like, I see her and this is something that she would value, I think that was the pinnacle of it. But now she is a person that plans. She's very organizational and all that. So it was easier for me to let her in because once I knew that the gift was actually a hit, then it's like, okay, if she likes it, I love it. Like literally, like it's great. So for me, I think I do struggle with the fear of a gift not being good. So sometimes for that, I just really lean on like a what do you want type of thing. So that was a super stretch for me. Uh, but yeah, I let her in because I wanted her to have a good time, and I knew we were going to be there longer than a weekend, but it was still, you know, she hadn't been there in a while. We hadn't been there a while. A lot to do in DC. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I definitely felt an obligation to let her have her way, right? Like this
Hmm.
your gift. We're here to do whatever you want, right? Um, my intent was to facilitate.
Sure.
Um, that involved, as it always does for us, going to restaurants and having some good food.
Hmm.
That involved bringing the kids along, which was a whole nother dynamic.
For
Um,
sure.
it- you know, it's funny how my mind works when it comes to like safety and things uh, in that realm. The trip also involved seeing the tree more than once during the day, once during
Mm.
nighttime,
Yeah, that makes sense.
um, which is a whole different dynamic, a whole different experience is actually what I'm trying to say.
Correct.
Um, we witnessed the light show at Saks Fifth Ave.
Hmm.
Um, we got to see, the kids light up because it was their first time in the city and certainly their first time doing something like that, all, like
Hmm.
that level of inclusivity. Um, we went to Broadway to see Aladdin.
That is a fantastic trip, period. Say
Yeah,
it less. Anything else that you did is icing.
yeah, yeah. Um, you know, took the subway.
Yeah, as one
Uh,
does.
yeah, yeah. Didn't take any Ubers. We've got some younger kids, so that wasn't viable. Um,
Hmm.
we did drive in, but the plan from the beginning was to drive in, park, and just experience the city how the city, from my
Hmm.
perspective, should be experienced. Right, we're not driving around. That wastes too much time. Um, got stayed in a hotel that offered valet parking. Valet parking was $55 a day.
Hmm.
However, when we arrived, I pulled the car in to the valet parking, and to his credit, the guy was like, "Hey, how long you gonna be here?" I'm like, "Oh, just till Sunday. We'll be out of here." He's like, "Oh, bet." there's a spot right on the street right here. That's free. And he was like, you can stay there till Sunday. You're all good. And then he coned the car off for me. I got out, tipped him $20. Was like, my man, 100 grand.
Right.
You saved me $140. But yeah, we were able to fit all that in. We played games in the hotel room. First night, we just ordered food to the room.
Mm-hmm.
The other day, or other meals were outside, but I think it was rather enjoyable. And I think for me to be in a space now where we can afford to do something like that also opens up, I think, the capability to do it more often, right? Obviously, it doesn't always need to be a surprise, but I think just these little weekend experiences need to occur more often.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's a different topic technically, but um, yeah, man.
Yeah, my question is, how did she respond, and how was she uh, in interacting with, like, knowing this was a gift, but like, how did she jump in and kind of let her request be known?
Yeah, so I think she hopped online. Um, Also spoke to some coworkers who frequent the city, um, and just kind of did that groundwork. Like, all right, here's all the things that we could potentially do, um, and just cultivated a list. And was like, hey, if we can get to these things, let's do it. There were some things that we couldn't do because it was a weekend in December. Lines were far too long.
Mm-hmm.
But we still like stopped by, checked them out, see if we could make that a part of the experience. And to her credit, one thing she also did was ask me, "Is there anything you would like to do while we're here?" We also went to Hudson Yards as a spot that she enjoys going to as well. Um, and if you're familiar with it, if you're watching, this hat uh, is from the brand V Friends. That is also in Hudson Yards. Their office is in Hudson Yards. So if I were able to truly get my way, I would have been able to make a visit there, but that's not like an open place that you can just go to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was just like a wish list thing for me. Like maybe I could run into the creator of VFriends and have a conversation, but you know, that I knew that wasn't the thing. So she asked me like, "Hey, what would you like to do?" And like that was the thing that came to mind.
Mm.
But again, I was also in the mindset like this isn't for me; it's for you. So like I don't really care. Like this, let's
Mm-hmm.
try to fulfill your list. Um, so yeah, did that answer your question?
Yeah, it did. She made a list and checked it twice to find out who's naughty or nice. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you went, so it was great, and that she loved the gift because you went, and seemed like you had a really good time. There's that part of, how did you work with that inside of you part that was like, okay, I want a surprise, but I also like, I feel like I need to have her be involved. Like, how did you let go of, no, I want this to be how I want it to be because it's my gift? Or did you even run into that?
Um, I think mildly, but it also kind of happened organically. So what I mean by that is, one, to my credit, I planned this far enough in advance and made the time between when the gift occurred to when the trip occurred significant enough where it allowed for all of that to occur. Right. Um, and she's not shy about saying what she wants, which helps. Right.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think there was just a shade over a month from her birthday to when we actually left. So ample time for her to do a little research, talk to people, figure out what exactly it is that she wanted to do. One, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, one impromptu thing that happened um, is we came across a stand that sells holiday ornaments, right? And then they inscribe them with like a Sharpie. This is something that she does every single year is gets a family ornament
Mm-hmm.
with, characters on it to represent, you know, the the family, and then we get she gets her names written on them in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so for that to also happen on this trip to get the holiday to ornament, and then as well as getting one that reflected New York and having the year inscribed on it,
Mm-hmm.
was just kind of like a cool. I don't know. I can't call it an experience, but like a cool thing to add on top, like a little cherry on top, right?
Right.
Um, but yeah, going back to what I was talking about, I don't I don't think I struggled with it because again, she is good at saying what she wanted, and I think I had the mindset anyway from the jump that this trip was for her. Um, so I just kind of let her lead because it was in the spirit of a gift. That's
Mm-hmm.
just kind of where my head was at.
Yeah, that's great. Like I said before, when we were talking about that, I kind of struggle with wanting to make sure that the gift is good. And I don't, I guess it comes down to me trusting myself to know who I'm giving the gift to, specifically for my wife. Because sometimes she'll be like, man, you don't really get me stuff. And it's usually, she means like stuff that she doesn't know is coming, if that
Uh,
makes sense.
okay.
So, our dynamic is a little different because we don't get a lot of stuff like that so much for each other. But it's just like if you want something throughout the year and we can afford it, we just get it. Right. So there's always that idea. And we've been trying to communicate better financially. So it's kind of like anything that we want that's over a certain price point, it's like you have to talk about it. So like how is that gifting? Right. Right.
Yeah.
Um but I think just hearing this, I have to be better. And it might not even be tangible gifts. It might be more experiences than things. Because, I love her style. Her style is awesome. I also have to get better at, I have to get more confident in thinking that I can buy within the style that she has.
Mm.
Right. Because I know what she likes to wear. I know what I think looks good on her. So I need to just start pulling the trigger. And I think, and those are small things that I can do, right? That's not thousands of dollars. Like it's, under the hundreds for an item or two. Um, so I was just thinking about gift giving and how do you give gifts? Do you do surprises a lot, or is it more um, maybe she has a list of things that and then you kind of choose from that thing? How do you guys do gifts to each other?
Yeah. So that was also a piece of this for sure. Um, and I think as far as surprises go, there is a list of things she's been communicating over the years that I've been, as of late, more intentional on trying to deliver on. Um, so that's more or less how that happened. The financial piece, I could have certainly been better about, I guess, um, because it wasn't something that we had talked about, right? And so to that, as you were, talking about that, I was thinking, how could I have been in a place where, this style of gift is acceptable, and leaves us both on the same page for the amount of spending. And the first thing that came to mind was, number one, setting up a budget and having a line item for both parties where, this is our discretionary money,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's in the budget. We don't necessarily have to worry about how it's being spent because it's our discretionary money. And then using that to save up for, whatever amount of time it would take to accomplish the goal of the surprise gift.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think is, again, off the top of my head, one of the best ways I could think of to accomplish that. And then that also feels pretty selfless to me as well,
Yeah.
right? If I'm using my discretionary money, especially over a certain amount of time to save for a gift for her, to make it a surprise and make it a
Mm-hmm.
whole experience, right? It seems like a bit of a sacrifice
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
obviously intentful and loving and caring and all the trigger words.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe it's not a discretionary, maybe it is like a gift line item. Um, and it's just kind of there. And it's like, hey, we're going to put away for this in general. And then, yeah, it's a tough one to kind of plan something like that. But I was just curious on your thought process for that. Either way, it's a challenge for me to get better. It's good when you do things that are nice so I can see how I can implement that. I think that was a great gift. It seems like it was fantastic, especially the family got to all be involved, which is really nice.
Yeah, yeah. Man, you love seeing the kids light up experiencing something for the first time, you know. And like there was little pieces here and there, like even just on the drive, right? Like we're coming across the bridge, seeing Shidan, pull her iPad up, trying to snap pictures and whatnot, like just to see, like, oh, okay, she's interested in trying to capture that
Mm-hmm.
moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then on the other end, coming back, um, we drove past Yankee Stadium, um, and then like she's trying to snap pictures of that and didn't quite get it. Seeing that she was upset, having a conversation now about, hey, one thing you could have done is just taken a video, and then you likely capture everything you're trying to capture, and then
Mm-hmm.
pull pictures out of that, right? And so it becomes a teaching experience. It's just something small, but I'm sure she'll carry that with her in the
Yeah.
future.
Like, why Cheyenne always taking videos?
Right. Right.
She don't want to miss it.
Right.
Yeah, that's dope.
Sometimes you be looking the way you look and you're like, yo, chill with the videos.
That part. Oh man. I think. Do you have anything else? We can shut this one down.
Yeah, no, I'm good to wrap it up.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys listening to this episode. It's a little unconventional in how we do it, but we just wanted to talk through surprises. I mean, for me, it's unconventional to think about surprising my wife. So the challenge for me is to just be better and try to be creative on how to add that little wrinkle into our marriage. But for those that stayed, we thank you for rocking with us through this episode. If you have any questions, comments, search us searching Marriage is Tougher on any social media platform, or just go to marriagestougher.com, hit the contact form, and leave your feedback there. Again, if you'd like to be a guest, hit that contact form, give us your info, what topic you'd like to talk about. We'll get you on here. We appreciate you all for checking us out. And until next time, we'll chat later.
Peace.